Hi, my name is Bill Mooney McCoy, and I'm the director of Safe Families, which is a program of TECHMISSION. Safe Families is a program that is focused on protecting children in at-risk communities from pornography and other dangers on the internet. We're doing this first by providing educational and training material for parents, churches, and community organizations in those at-risk communities. That's part of what we're doing right this minute. And secondly, we have a commitment to distribute 100,000 copies of free internet filtering software. I'll talk about what free internet filtering software is in just a minute. But first, let's establish what we're talking about. This talk is about online safety. Safety being defined as the state of being certain that adverse effects will not be caused by some agent under defined conditions. The agent, in this case, and what Safe Families is dealing with, is the internet, the online experience. And the conditions are whatever your nonprofit site may be, whether it's a computer center or some other forum in which kids might be involved with the internet. And the adverse effects, the ones that we're going to talk about today, are contact with sexual predators. There's some other dangers, and then the one that sort of is on people's mind, pornography. So I'm going to get into all of that in just a sec. Let's look at online perpetrators or predators. 20% of your kids who are using a chat room have been approached by someone, a pedophile online, and that was in the year 2002, so I know it's not gotten any better since then. You can see the abductions, how many of them have been caused now by the internet. It is the preferred tool for those who are looking for victims. And as you can see, a lot of the net-initiated sexual exploitation cases were targeting girls 13 through 15, and many of them led to actual face-to-face illegal sex, underage sex. I'll get to pornography in a minute, but there are other things that are on the web that are concerns too. There is problematic content. For example, there is sexual material that is not necessarily pornography, but it may be sex education, or it may be erotica. It may be just sexually explicit material that you don't want your children seeing. There are gore sites, things like dead bodies and other gruesome pictures. There was a while ago a site that was set up so that soldiers who were fighting in Iraq, American soldiers, were sending pictures of the mutilated bodies of the Iraqi soldiers that they killed. There are hate sites, sites like white supremacists. MartinLutherKing.org right now is a white supremacist site. And there are others that espouse bigotry or intolerance. There are sites that help users with drug use, and I don't mean help them to recover, but how to use more effectively, or how to enjoy them, or how to beat urine detection tests, a variety of things like that promote the use of illegal recreational drugs. And there are also sites that promote or give material about guns and violence, how to build bombs and things like that. These are objectionable content that you may not be very happy about your children having free access to. There's this phenomenon of online communities, chat rooms, instant messaging, these interactive forums that aren't necessarily websites. In these things, anything can go, and generally many of them are not moderated. And so children can self-publish, and they can put anything on there that they want. Letting your child in a chat room that's not monitored is kind of like letting a kid go into a bar without being watched. There's very dangerous stuff that is happening, and these are a prime place for predators to find their victims. Peer-to-peer file sharing, programs like Kazaa and LimeWire and BearShare. These are programs that allow users to trade and swap files. A great concept, but generally the three I's are in view here. They're often illegal. It's usually copyrighted material, and so that they're using intellectual property illegally. Or in some cases it's child pornography, which is also illegal. Much of the material is indecent. If it's not child pornography, it might be regular pornography, but it's still indecent, and it's often infectious. A lot of viruses, Trojan horses, and other things that you do not want on your computer are often found in these file sharing communities. So it's a very risky proposition, to say the least. The social networking sites, I need to say a little word about it. They've blown up and have become a dominant force on the internet. And there are some serious risks involved with these programs. For example, this was the profile of somebody who used to be on MySpace. His name is Danny, and he's a guy from Arizona, and he had a lot of friends. He liked poetry and liked plants and had tattoos and some other things about him, and had several people linking to him as friends. That's how the social networking communities work. But Danny had another picture that was put on the web for him. And this one came from Arizona State's sex registry. See, Danny was a sex offender, actually a level 3. His offense was luring a minor for sexual exploitation. And there are many such folks on the MySpace programs who are just looking to become friends of potential victims. So we've got to be really careful with these websites. But now let's talk about pornography. Pornography in youth is a serious problem. 90% of your kids 8 through 16 have seen it, mostly unintentionally. 11 is now the average age of internet exposure to porn. I think it's actually going down because that was several years ago. Even the adult industry itself says 20 to 30% of its traffic are kids. And if you don't think that that's a significant problem, this came out in Pediatrics magazine last spring. And it says that youth with exposure to sexual explicit media are twice as likely, more than twice as likely, to have intercourse at these young ages of 14 through 16. So it does have an impact on children's decisions on what to do. The industry is exploiting kids. 20,000 images of child porn every week. That was, again, 3 years ago. 20% of it is internet pornography involves children. You can see the number of how many illegal sites there are. It's a $3 billion industry. Well, so what do I do? With all these problems, what are the options I have? Well, we have something we call an online safety program checklist. And we recommend this for your organization. It's available for download in Microsoft Word on the web link that's there. And by the way, all of the websites that I'm going to reference, they're going to be mentioned at the end of this presentation, so you can click on it when this is over, so don't worry about writing it down or getting it now. But here's what it looks like. It's just a checklist of 9 suggestions that we have, and you can sort of adapt this or adjust this according to whatever you need at your computer center. But let me walk through it real quickly. First, and this is critical, get a filter. Internet filter is just something that basically controls what gets into your computer, what you can see and what you can't. And there are several options, and I'm going to go through this option by option. So the first option is Safe Families WeBlocker. We have an internet filter that is available. It is free. It's been updated with 300,000 sites that it's blocking. It allows you to have multiple users at different age groups, different categories for content, and it's available to download at that link that's shown there. So WeBlocker, free again, covers the most basic functions. It's got a logging function too, which will allow you to see where someone has been and sort of review what people have been tracking on the internet. It doesn't cover things like internet instant messaging or email or peer-to-peer file sharing. It doesn't cover everything. If you need something else, you may need a more robust product, and it is unfortunately not at this point available for Macintoshes. There are some other options. If you're available for TechSoup, for example, you can get the Norton Internet Security Suite, which is a very powerful product that does a lot of protection for your computers. Go on to TechSoup, and you go to where it says TechSoup Stock. That'll bring you to a screen, and then you'll look for tools and utilities. And from there, you will go and scroll down until you find Norton Internet Security. And the more you buy, the cheaper it is per computer. So this is a very economical option for you if you have something like a computer lab with several different computers. You can get this installed. And this has internet filtering built in. On our website, we have a chart of some of the other products that are available. These are the most best, highly recommended internet filtering products, and we took it from a number of different sources and weighted it and sort of determined what was the winners for each for internet filters. And you can see some of the features that they have, and just take a look and make a decision if neither WeBlocker or Norton Security Suite will work for you. There is, however, another option. There's a piece of hardware called a filtering router, and this is something that works effective for computers on a network. If you have a lot of computers, like a computer center, all on the same network, it does the filtering. This single box will do the filtering for all of those computers. And it can be a little bit more difficult to disable for your savvy kids. One of the challenges that you certainly need to be on broadband, which most computer centers would be, I'd hope, and also it can be a little bit more difficult to set up initially. But the nice thing about this is that you can install it for the center, and it's effective for all the computers that are on that network. So those are some of your options: client versus filtering, router filtering. We have a chart there that shows you the advantages of each. Just take a look and really sort of discern what is going to work for your environment and your organization. There's more information on this on our webpage for nonprofits. We go into detail about internet filtering. Next step we recommend is that you figure out what you will and what you will not allow in your center or your organization. And first you need to figure it out by content. And this applies not just for youth but also for adults. Is it going to be a site that will allow adults to use pornography or not? Is it one that will allow hate sites or occult sites or obscene language? Those are the decisions that you need to make as an organization. What content are you going to allow? And likewise, you need to decide what types of activities. So, for example, will you allow MySpace and other online communities to be used at your center? The ones with the asterisk there are the ones that we at Safe Families recommend you not allow in your center if you have a computer center. But again, this is a decision that you need to make as an organization based on what you think is going to work for you. Once you've done that, you will draft an acceptable use policy if you don't already have one. This is a document that outlines responsibilities and privileges, and it needs to be posted, reviewed, and signed by all your clients. It addresses these issues of what you can and can't do. You may decide that you even have different standards for children versus adults, in which case you need to document that. And it's very important that it have prominently displayed what the consequences will be for failing to follow this AUP. We have a sample one available for download and modification on our website. Here's how it looks. And again, you can adapt this and adjust it for your own center and for whatever you feel is appropriate. Having done that, we believe that every participant of a computer center would need to go through an online safety orientation. This is just a presentation that explains the acceptable use policy and instructions of what to do in case something objectionable does occur. Some safety tips, for example, youth are never to plan a face-to-face meeting with someone they've met online. You've probably heard some of the acronyms that they have in chat rooms and instant messaging, but LMIRL is one of the ones that I've recently come across, which is Let's Meet in Real Life. So this is something that kids are thinking about doing and are doing. We really want to warn them about the dangers of doing that. Youth are also never to give out personal information like phone, name, the school, where they work, or what their friends' names are. Because predators are very, very skillful at finding out more and more information, and when the kid is home, or how they walk to school, and all kinds of information like that. We recommend that this orientation be 2 sessions for elementary school kids at an hour each, 1:45 for middle and high, and about a 30-minute orientation for adults. And we have some sample plans on our website at the site that's listed there. And again, I'll list all the websites at the end of this presentation. There are some resources to help with that training process as well, and we recommend that you bring these to the fore for the young people who are using your center. NetSmarts, WebSafe Crackers, Wired Kids, and iSafe are all wonderful websites with wonderful activities about online safety. My personal favorite, NetSmarts, is amazing. My daughter has test-driven it for me, and it's a lot of fun. Some very ethnically ambiguous characters, which I really like since I work in the urban context. And there's some really fun games and some really good education about what to do on the web. It's really good for elementary school kids. They have some material for middle schools and a little bit of material for high schoolers as well. And lots of material for parents and for people who work with kids. We suggest strongly that every participant sign an AUP and that you keep that signed copy on file. You may need a simpler version for younger children, but this is your tool, your weapon against the I didn't know. Because everybody who signs it will know what the rules are, or at least if they don't, they are responsible because they signed the document. So we recommend that every participant have this kept on file for them so that they can be held accountable to whatever the rules are that you've established. Some other very practical and simple practices: always have a lab monitor in the room when computers are being used, especially by children. It's not a good idea to let a kid roam free on an internet connection. Just anything can happen, intentionally or unintentionally. And likewise, keep the computers public so that you can easily see it from sitting in the room. Facing the wall is a very dangerous and foolish way of having your computers placed, because kids can be looking at stuff and they're not going to let you know they're looking at something bad, and you wouldn't be able to see it. So place the computer screens in a position so they're prominently and easily visible to a monitor. Another thing you can do is for computers that are being used mainly by children, you can reset the home page to a kid-friendly search engine. And there's some of the search engines there listed. These are search engines like Google or Yahoo, but they will only pop out websites that are safe for kids to browse. We've got information on how to do that if you're not sure how to at our website on the website that's listed there on the webpage. And finally, you need to establish rules for your own staff and volunteers. Organizations can be very vulnerable to sexual harassment suits if there's pornography being used, or also accountable for copyright infringement in the case of peer-to-peer. So you need to establish the rules for your staff as well as for the participants or the people using your computers. To help you, we have an online recovery, safety and recovery manual. It's available for free on our website. There are versions for pastors, parents, individuals looking for recovery from pornography addiction, and for nonprofits. So we really urge you to come on to the website and download it, and you can modify it as you need to. We also have lots of stuff, as I mentioned, on our website. Plenty of training for people who want to learn more about online safety. So please come on and browse and use some of the tools that we have available. Again, you can download our free internet filtering software from our website as well. Well, thank you for listening, and I hope this presentation has been helpful for you. Again, feel free to visit our website and download any of the materials that you find there. Let's work together with our target of keeping children safe online. Thank you and have a great day.